ongoing situation with so much allegation coming in.
Man, yeah.
I loved it that Wilder was quiet for so long, didn't say
Yes.
now, last month or so, just whatever internet conspiracy people on YouTube and fans have come up with, he has decided to recite. He decided to say, this is what happened, this is what happened. The coach did this. Tyson Fury's fingernails made his ear bleed.
Yeah, my thought on that as a fan, as a that just sees it from the outside, not even a boxer. That's not respected, I think the best thing that Deontay Wilder could have done is just the quiet, yo, 30, coming back with excuses, coming back with, like you just mentioned, like the water. He said that his team tempted his water, the getting hit in the eardrum, the gloves. I mean, so many things. Like, bro, like, why are you putting so many excuses? Like, you lost, move on. That's a sign of psychology. He's not ready. I don't recommend for him to fight him yet. He's not ready. He hasn't accepted the defeat. That's a fighter that hasn't accepted a defeat, and that's dangerous because he still feels like he did the right thing, and now he's getting rid of the whole team, the team that took him where he is now. He's doing all the wrong things basically, and it's not his fault. A lot of it is his fault. Most of it is the people that he has around.
Those are the words of Abner Mares. Abner Mares, of course, is a PBC fighter. He is one of the hosts of Inside the PBC, along with a beautiful British lady. I keep forgetting her name, and Sean Porter. And this is another example on why or how people look at something from the outside. I mean, you just view the amount of excuses, for one. And I've heard this before, and this is coming from people that have mental illness. I don't claim to have mental illness. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have certain quirks or things like that might be mental. No one's 100% perfect, but I hear this is a pure sign of mental illness. And the sad thing about it is when you had guys like Lance Pugmire saying these type of things way before Wilder even spoke, now we go back and revisit those things. A guy like Lance Pugmire would be like, you know what? See, I told you guys so. To stay that long without saying anything about how you really felt, it seemed like you were waiting for a particular time to say what or how you felt, or it took you that amount of time to just get convinced by the people around you. And I notice Wilder does have a lot of people around him that say the same things, and I honestly think that if someone came to Wilder that said something contrary to what everybody else is saying and believing and speaking and receiving and all that, I think he would have them kicked out. I think he wants to believe that. And if I don't think he sat down and really analyzed, like, it took all that for you to lose. See, now if it's true, I believe all of it can't be true. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's just too much shit. You mean the referee was in on it, the commissioners, your coach, their trainers, their fighter. You know what I mean? Look at your costume designers. Like, it's just too many things that were brought up because he lost. And then, like Abner Mares said, it's not really respected. And then this is another guy. He's a PBC family. And the scary thing about all this is, why haven't you heard from Jay Diaz or Shelly Finkel about any of that? Concerning to any of that's the biggest news. It's not that the fight's getting shoved or canceled or whatever. I mean, Tyson Fury does that shit all the time. How many times he's supposed to fight Tyson Fury and that shit got pushed back? This is the 5th, 6th time, because remember last year you had all those times, right? And then it finally supposed to came to a head, and it finally got made, and it finally happened. But, you know, it happened before. But this is very new news. This is very controversial news. This is controversy. Okay, so all these accusations against a fighter, and then it ain't just even against the fighter. It's not only Tyson Fury. It's I was gonna say Jay Nady, but Kenny Bayless. It's Kenny Bayless. It's Tyson Fury himself. It's Mark Breland. It's the WBC commissioners that allowed him to do whatever he did to his gloves that allowed the cameras to be cut off. It's who else? It's the spiked water. It's something else. I can't remember what it was. It's Lance Pugmire. So obviously, if he cheated 5 years ago, he has to cheat now. So that means he can cheat. So I get that. Okay, they're connecting the dots. And see, one thing about a belief or a conviction, you can be convinced. Conviction is someone convinced, okay, that something happened. Now, I would ride for Wilder if he picked one of those things instead of all of them, because all of them just sound like a bunch of bullshit. It just sounds like you're just making up various shit because you really don't know. That's my belief. But as far as one particular thing, you can't have all this shit going against you at the same time. It wasn't like you were that fucking good. Come on, man. It was just like you. It wasn't like you were the best. It wasn't like you were Terrence Crawford or somebody like that just got fucking, just came in and looked bad and looked fucked up and ain't himself, and you just couldn't do these spectacular things that you normally did. No. You know, you didn't know he didn't look right. I don't know why it was. Maybe it was, I've already spoke on that. Maybe it was a combination of things. But was it spiked water? For somebody you known for 12 years, I understand you just hired this motherfucker and he was just kind of like this double agent and you really didn't know him and you shouldn't have hired him and you shouldn't have trusted him. You know what I mean? And this is my counterpunch. For all the shit that he picked and chose, it's almost like you're using damn near everything except probably the thing that probably mattered most. If you're going to blame Mark Breland, and I got a counterpunch, Abner Mares. Why? Because he didn't get rid of his whole team. He got rid of one fucking person. He didn't get rid of Shelly Finkel. Not that I know of. He didn't get rid of JD's. We know he didn't because he said it yesterday. Okay? He said he didn't get rid of, he just said JD, D-ass. JD ass. He didn't get rid of him. He just scorned him and cussed him out or did this, that, and the other, but he stayed with him. So he's still on the team. So, you could use that as an excuse, but I mean, what he did as far as getting that particular guy in the hot seat along with Mark Breland, that didn't happen. So. But anyway, it looks bad because, see, guys like Abner Mares is saying, hey, you know what, that psychologically, I don't think he's there if he believes all that. And it's making it look bad. So people are now questioning his mental status. And that's fucked up. Because the last thing you want to do is come off as a person that don't got it all. That's the problem. And in that point, I don't like people. I would rather a liar than someone that believes something that's kind of unbelievable. You know what I mean? Again, if it was just one thing, but if you believed all that shit and you really believe that, people are going to question what the fuck is really wrong with you. You mean to tell me that all that, like even the Showtime commentator yesterday was like, you really don't believe all that shit, do you? You know what I mean? You believe that? And it was like, well, I mean, I believe that he did. So if he believed that he did, maybe he hasn't accepted the loss. Maybe he just needs to sit down and say, you know what, I did lose. Let me focus on getting better. Let me focus on, if I do think my water's spiked, let me bring my own damn water. You know, let me focus on a lot of particular things. You know, but that's if he can get back in the ring with Tyson Fury, because the more he speaks and the more he says this and that, people are going to doubt him. And the more people like Abner says I'm a fan, they're not going to really be wanting to fuck with him like that no more. So this is another person that's pretty much dropping off, but, you know, they're giving their explanation on why they're dropping off. You know what I mean? Because you using all those excuses, and nobody likes people that use an excuse, you know, or excuses like that. You know, because it's like it makes you come off weak. It makes you come off unsure or insecure. You know what I'm saying? So it looks bad. And I don't like the psychological accusations towards Wilder. You know what I mean? Being intelligent is one thing, but like somebody just thinking you fucking crazy, that's another thing. And I don't want people to put Wilder in that type of situation, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, so if you come off like that, you can't help but people to think that. Because belief is one hell of a thing. I'm going to say that. So if he believes that happened, I think, and I should suggest to Wilder, and this is real talk, if Wilder believes that all this happened to him, he needs to fire every fucking body that was around him to make sure that the people that he hires are supposed to do their job to ensure in his mind that there is no wrongdoing before, during, or after the fight. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Abner Mars' comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.